Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to share this Montana bear hunt with you. I went on a trip with Peaks Equipment and we actually tested out some new gear. So in this video, you're gonna see some new products that will be dropping soon. They might even be dropped by now once you watch this video, but a couple key things I wanted to touch on before we dive into the film is there is gonna be a second film put together by Peaks Equipment on their channel. They're gonna put together their own film from this hunt down the road, but they were nice enough to let me use some of the footage and share it with you guys on my channel. So I'm gonna kind of narrate and bounce in and out of the hunt. You will notice in the video I'm using a Montana rifle, 7 PRC. I'm actually giving one of those away. Montana rifle was cool and pitched in a brand new gun for one of you guys to win. So I have some new Blaze Orange hats on my website. That's why I'm wearing it here. When you shop my website, these Blaze Orange hats are gonna get you double entries to win. So I highly suggest jumping on that now if you're a rifle hunter. Pick up a new hat for this fall and you're gonna get entered in to win a brand new Montana rifle. I use the Highline 7 PRC. It's a great gun and you're gonna see it get put to use here. This was really my first time exploring the mountains of Montana, so it was all new to me. I was really excited to get out there. The guys at Peaks had some pins that they sent me on Onyx maps to kind of give me a start. We found a couple glassing points on the maps and started our journey into the woods. The country looked good. Plenty of open glassing, plenty of water. We were about a week or two behind on the snow melt. Typically you want to kind of chase that snow line, but there was plenty of green grass, a lot of bear sign on the ridge lines. Heading in, we were immediately on bear sign. It did look like grizzly bear sign, but we were a little bit unsure, but there was plenty of bear sign.
Made it in. We did 2 hours of hiking, 2 miles. This looks like a good spot though. A lot of bear sign and a lot of glassing from all corners of this ridge.
not really scary, but it definitely puts an added thought in the back of your mind when you're camped out in grizzly bear country. As the sun goes down and darkness sets in, it does stay in the back of your mind that a grizzly bear could roll into camp. Our suspicions were quickly confirmed when grizzly bears started popping up. We were glassing them on just about every ridge line. After hitting a few different glassing points, staying out all day, sitting water, it looked like great bear country, but I think there was just too many grizzly bears, and the black bears were either pushed off in holes hiding, or there just weren't that many. Just glassed a bear. I put it out there on my Instagram that I was hunting bears in Montana, and a lot of locals and residents reached out and they said a game they like to play is let's count how many black bears to grizzly bears we see, because it seems like everybody sees more endangered species than species that you can hunt. I would be in support of the state looking to manage them and offering up a hunt now that I've seen it firsthand. We were seeing grizzly bears on every ridge. Ended up in 2.5 days seeing at least 9 different grizzly bears and a couple pretty big ones. So after a few days, we were kind of getting burned out of the area, just not seeing as many black bears as we felt like we should. We decided to head all the way back to town, pick up the e-bikes, and we decided to go to a new spot that I picked out on the Onyx maps. It looked good, and a guy on Instagram that I'm now buddies with reached out and confirmed that there's bears in the area and said he'd seen a nice track there the week before, so we headed out to try that area out. It looked like great country, so the goal was to head in, set camp up, and maybe do a little bit of midday glassing to get an idea of where we want to set up that evening. Everything was looking good. We had the snow line and snowpack still up in the high country, good pine trees, plenty of water, and nice green up. That's one thing. I'm not a bear expert, but what I do know about bears and when I've seen them, they love chasing that fresh green grass, so that's what we were targeting in on.
Got up to a pretty good vantage point where I can see like almost this entire canyon bottom, steep north slope of pine trees with snow banks still in there, and it's really dormant. So good spot there. Bare open ridges on the tops of the pines. I've got a nice south face right here, burnt off. There's a saddle to my right. It's 9:50, so a little late in the morning, but in my opinion, a perfect spot to watch a bear transition and work some shadows. Found a spot, got camp set, and wasted a couple hours of that midday heat. Got a little bit of cloud cover. It's cooling down, a little windy, so we're gonna get out early. It's about 4:30 now, and head up this way, hit the bikes, bike up the canyon, then hike up to a good vantage point and sit and watch these meadows and see if we can get lucky, get a bear. I'm getting a little anxious, like I can feel it's gonna happen, and I'm excited, waiting for that moment and spotting a good bear. So finish this drink and get going. The other option is you go up the long sage ridge, but I kind of feel like this, like a little tighter to these big cuts, is better.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
And then you can also see up this canyon, which looks pretty good too. It looks really, really good right here. Got a creek bottom, kind of like 2 or 3 creeks coming in to make one. I got some deer moving down below me in the bottom right now. 4 or 5 different meadows I can look into. North slope, canyon bottom, south slope. So we got a lot to work with. We just need a bear to pop out into one of these pockets. For the most part, they're all shooter distance, so like I can shoot. I feel good out to about 450, 500. Ideally, we'd want to be like 300 or closer, but we got shots. I'd really love to see a bear in here. Kind of scouted this on the Onyx maps. Found this spot, hiked in. Now we just need a bear to step out and have it all come together.
There was one perfect meadow that I had picked out, looked like a great spot for a bear to come in at, and a lot of game started rolling through there. We had moose, does, plenty of mule deer, a fox, and as evening came and the sun started going down, just like clockwork, we had our first black bear of the area come on in.
Popped out like the second I went and got you. So he's just barely entering the meadow. I don't know yet. It's not a no-brainer, but it's better than the bear we saw the other day. Nice chocolate bear.
He was a really pretty bear, looked like a young male maybe, but just not what I'm looking for. It would be my first bear that I've ever taken, but I went into it looking to take a more mature animal, and so decided to hold off on that bear. Looks like we've got some guests in the background. A couple mule deer does just rolled in. Picking away at the picking away at the grass, new grass popping up, just like the bears do. I really liked the spot that we'd been set up at, so decided to give it another morning, be there at first light, and also another evening. Right away, the bear from the evening before showed up. I also spotted a sow and 2 cubs. The cubs were getting a little bit older, starting to branch off from their mom, but still hanging out close by. See the little one? So after giving 2 solid glassing sessions in the spot, I know there was probably a couple other bears in there, but we wanted to branch out. So we started looking at the Onyx maps and picking apart the areas nearby, looking for the same elevation, because that seemed to be where the green grass was and a lot of critters were using that elevation. Across the way, we found a nice canyon that had water in it, pine trees, good grass. It was the right elevation, so we decided to do a midday scouting mission and look for some glassing points and places we could set up that evening. It was one of the best looking spots we'd found that week of hunting. There was really, really lush green grass. We saw a coyote out hunting midday, and I could just see a bear coming in and feeding in these meadows that evening and coming down maybe to get some water. So we decided we were gonna post up on this sage hillside, kind of a south facing knob, and then we'd be able to see that whole pocket and bottom that evening. Went back, ate some food that afternoon, and headed in, trying to be a little bit early, so we started rolling in around 4 o'clock. As I headed up to the glassing point, I looked across the canyon, and in the highest meadow, just like I'd envisioned, there was a nice chocolate, mature black bear already out feeding in the sunlight, not even any shadows or shade to work with. He was already out there feeding.
Got another chocolate bear. Right where we scouted this midday. Just like we planned. He's about 750 yards away right now, which is too far, but he looks potentially like a shooter. I'd like to get my spotting scope on him. I know that would take some time, but I do want to confirm before I get too excited. It's real early, it's 5 o'clock, not even 5, so I'll get the scope on him and then check him out.
Knowing how much bears can move and being early, I didn't know if he was going to work into shadows or not. So we raced into position, got set up. He was already at 800 yards though, and I just sighted in my rifle and zeroed it at 300 the week before. So I didn't really want to take any shots past 450. So I set up, got ready to watch him and just kind of see what he would do if we had to move or if he was going to come to us. Fortunately, it was hot out and he was thirsty, and there was a game trail that worked straight from him all the way to us. The water was maybe 100 yards below us. The bear turned and hit that trail, so it was pretty clear he was going to work his way down to the water. As the bear fed his way down the trail, I got set up, moved into position, and laying prone. I threw out my DRT lounger, got it inverted, set the gun on that, got stable, and just started dialing down, and it went from 500 to 450 to 400, 350. The bear just kept coming. It was almost like it was meant to be. The bear finally stopped at 298 yards, so I just brought my turret right back to 0 and settled in for my shot. You ready? I waited for him to move that right leg forward, exposing his vitals, squeezed the trigger, and hit him hard. He did run out of frame a little bit, but I was able to run, cover about 100 yards, and get an angle around the willows, and I could see him laying there dead.
Wow, like I said back there, it happened quick. I think I see him dead here. I mean, it's got to be him right where I shot. I ran over just to get a better view into these willows and heard a little crash, a death moan, and like immediately I could see him laying there. Cool critters, man. Pretty cool animals. Cool to see them up close. This is, like I said, my first bear. Good shot too. Got to experience grizzly bears. Hardship a little bit of just not figuring them out, and then finally got into them and got a nice one. I'm pumped with that. That's a cool experience right there. Get him in some shade and take care of him. Oh man. Thank you, Big Bear. That's a cool experience. Wrapping up a really fun hunt. I haven't been on too many bear hunts in my life, maybe a handful. And it was a really good time. Got to see grizzly bears, all sorts of animals and wildlife. And of course some cool black bear action today with those cubs, and then finally having a game plan come together and work. So thankful for this bear and the meat and the experience. Couldn't ask for more, so we'll throw them on ice now, hit the road, and it's on to the next adventure, I guess. But man, cool experience, that's all I can say, and very thankful right now.
I really enjoyed my time up there in Montana. Beautiful mountains and new country to explore. Eagles, black bears, whitetail, mule deer, elk, moose, grizzly bears, black bears. There was so much game on this hunt. I'm glad that the meat since then, tasting it, has been awesome. And I look forward to doing another bear hunt again. I'd say it's something that I could probably put on my calendar moving forward from here on out. Hope you guys enjoyed this style of video again. Peaks is coming out with a full film of this later down the road. Watch for those new products to drop. Of course, you can use code CHAG on all Peaks equipment to save, and make sure you get entered in to win that Montana rifle. Go shop my Blaze Orange hats now and you're gonna get double entries. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next video.